Hey guys, Brent here. Welcome to a brand new Posty Adventure. Before we get into it, just a couple of updates. My sincere apologies for taking so long between the last one and this one. You know, this pandemic has hit me pretty hard, all the suffering and all the bad news around the world. I find it quite difficult to create when I'm not in the right mindset. I don't know if you feel the same too, but the good news is I'm back with two brand new Posty Adventures, and thank you guys for everyone that's given me encouraging words. You know, once the lockdown kind of ended or semi-ended over here in Australia and I started getting out and mingling a little bit, everyone I've seen has come up to me and said, "Hey Brent, we love your Posty Adventures. When are we going to see the next episode?" Thank you guys. Those encouraging words really do help. So I've got two brand new Posty Adventures coming out, and plus I've got a super secret adventure that I'm working on with my friend Harlan. Not quite sure if we can make it there, but we're going to try anyway. And also a huge shout out to all the Posty legends out there, everyone who's been helping keep me on the road. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There's too many to mention. I'll try and put the names on the screen right now. You too can become a legend by filling up my Posty bike, shouting me a beer or a barbecue, or just a one-off donation. Really helps. Thank you guys. Simply click the link below this video and become a Posty legend too. Let's get into this adventure. Hey guys, Brent Mail here. People call me the Mailman. I'm a pro photographer traveling around Australia on my little Posty bike, finding interesting people who are passionate about what they're doing and telling their stories through my lens. So buckle up and join me on my Posty adventures into the unknown. On the previous episodes of Mailman's Posty Adventures, I test out my equipment in the sand and in the bush, introduce you to my good friend Harlan and have a blast, deal with the flat tire on my Posty bike, meet Frank on his boat Imagine, and battle all sorts of audio problems during the interview. But I learned some valuable lessons. Go really deep and find out what's in his heart. We have a true adventure over to Fingal Island and up the lighthouse, and Frank surprises us with something really cool. I go out to sea on Imagine, photograph Frank, and give away some great tips on portrait photography. We go sailing again on a sunny day. I get some amazing aerial footage, but almost crash my drone into the ocean. I try surfing a dangerous break, deal with the 3-meter tiger shark, and get crunched on my last wave. I deal with major self-doubt, and I'm forced to change my energy by going for an adventure on my Posty bike and getting in the water. Wow, if you look back at what's already happened, it's been quite an adventure already, and it's been so much fun. But I think it's time for Frank to tell his story in his own words of how he almost single-handedly started up the whale watching industry in this area by building his boat Imagine. But like any great photographer, I've got to test my equipment. So I've learned from the first failure on Frank's boat trying to do his interview. And tonight I'm doing the interview at his house so we can actually control the lighting and the sound. But I need to test my equipment. I need to test. And any good photographer or any good videographer will let you know that you've got to test all your equipment before you get to the big interview. The receiver then goes into this audio recorder, the Zoom H1, and I'm actually recording right now. And then out of this goes into a splitter, and one of these goes into the camera so that I can actually record audio in the camera. See the audio lights there? And the other one goes to the earphones, the headphones. So this is my setup. I think this is going to work. Alright, ready to go to Frank's. I think I got too much gear, but I'd rather take too much than too little this time because it's the first real interview. I want to make sure I got the right lens and audio equipment, so I've got it all in here. So I'm going to use my 70-200 lens this time. I've got my tripod down here. I've got some more audio GoPro stuff in there, gaffer tape, and my mic. I've got my other mics. So yeah, got a lot of stuff in here. But let's see what works. I'm learning, and and it's a constant learning process, I guess. And I've got to fit that all in my bike next time. Don't know how I'm going to do that. Can't forget the most important parts, the beer and the wine. All right, too much stuff, I think.
Mine mate.
Hi, Frank.
Couple of lashes.
Lashes. You say it's your favorite?
It is actually.
I really like it. Cheers, Frank.
Cheers. Cheers.
Frank and Shutki make great hosts. We relax, have a few drinks, a few snacks, and then it's time to get into the interview. As I'm setting up my camera, Frank starts to play his harmonica. I didn't know he could play, and he's really good. After checking the video and the audio, it's time for Frank to tell his story.
So the opportunity to be a lighthouse keeper seemed absolutely fantastic. So we moved up here, started to spend time at the Lighthouse Cottage, fairly remote, right on the easternmost part of the Hunter coastline on the extreme island, Point Stevens, Fingal Island. But at that point, very shortly after, the federal government handed over to the state. The state didn't apparently want anyone in the cottage, and so we had to go back to Sydney. The cottage, sadly, was vandalised and burned out. I was devastated. So I came up the next day and it was still burning. They couldn't put it out. And I walked over to the lighthouse. Of course, Fingal Island has a narrow sandspit that sometimes you can walk across to the island. And walked across, and there it was. It was in ruins and still burning. And I was standing there and feeling very unhappy because it has been such a great opportunity. I'd spent several years actually planning and working on how to maintain the cottage, and there it was in ruins. And but I was standing there feeling very unhappy and sad, and then two humpback whales jumped out of the water. So this is 1991, October 1991, and these two humpback whales jumped out of the water right in front of the lighthouse. And I had one of these strange moments that you've got to be careful that you can't really discuss it with a lot of people because they think you're on something. But it was one of those Carlos Castaneda moments where you're sort of having communication with another species of animal. And what came through to me was that it really wasn't about the lighthouse, which the tower was still there, but the cottage was gone. But it was about the beauty of the area. It was absolutely stunning. Islands everywhere. It was a wonderful day. Here were these two whales just playing and jumping out of the water. And I realized then that it wasn't my obsession with being a lighthouse keeper that was really why I was there. It was about whales. Now, I've been sailing up and down the coast in the good wind with my brother since the late 70s. Never seen a whale. There weren't many whales because whaling had been going on until 1986. So there were very few whales, humpbacks on the coast at all, maybe a few hundred, but that was nothing. So I really, to see these two huge humpbacks jump out of the water made such an impression on me, and I thought, I want to look after these whales. I'll build a whale watch boat.
So this is the bit that really resonates with me. You know, often we have these goals, we want to achieve these things, we get a little bit obsessed with getting to our goal, but it's not about achieving the goal, it's about who you become while you're trying to achieve that goal. And I say, be open to things, be open to other goals and other opportunities along the road, and don't be totally obsessed with that one goal. And that's what Frank did. He started the whole whale watching industry in our area while trying to be the lighthouse keeper. How crazy is that?
So I came ashore, I worked as fixing up people's boats. I'm a bit of a boat builder. Then I built imagine. I got together with a good friend that I'd made up here when I moved up here, Yves Papin, a French guy who'd moved here from Brittany, and we both loved sailing, and we put together Imagine Cruises, and we started whale watching in Port Stephens. And I think we were probably the first in New South Wales to start commercial whale watching. One of our first trips out, 1995, we were out there. We've been going backwards and forwards, mainly with friends. Nobody knew about whale watching. So we were carting friends out, freebies. One friend was a cameraman and he had a video, and we were coming back in from Broughton Island one late afternoon, and we saw a white whale. And I got this wonderful video footage of it, and I called up the local TV station. Well, it went on the news, it went round the country, it went round the world, and the phone started ringing the next day. And I thought I was going to go broke because we were going nowhere. It cost us an enormous amount of money to build the boat. We'd mortgaged our house, and it was desperate measures. And this white whale that appeared, the phone started ringing. The whale was long gone, of course, but it put us on the map. And of course now today there's 35,000 humpbacks making this migration because whaling stopped around the world, and Australia has the two biggest populations of humpbacks in the world now, and it's a very big and important part of our economy. Whale watching became my specialty, and I spent 10 years working with the International Fund for Animal Welfare, Greenpeace, going around the world with the Australian government, visiting International Whaling Commission meetings, and promoting whale watching as being the only legitimate commercial interest in whales. You know, we shouldn't have whaling. We didn't really need the oil anymore. There were synthetic oils that were better. And so apart from Japan and a couple of little countries like Iceland that ate whale meat, there wasn't really a requirement for killing whales. And the commercial interest in looking at whales was fascinating. Most people in the world, we were very lucky in Australia, not every country has whales. Though I came here to be a sort of de facto lighthouse keeper, I suddenly became what I called the new whalers. You know, we were shooting them with cameras, not with harpoons, and that was so important to me. I became very, very clearly obsessed with whales, and all my crew and staff and friends was similar. We loved our whales, and very fortunate to have them.
So I think I'll end this video off right here, and in the next video we'll continue the interview with Frank, and I'll go a little bit deeper into what it actually takes to run a successful business. So make sure you check out the next Postie adventure. Thanks guys for watching this one, and I do apologize for the delay between the last one and this one. This is Brent, the mailman. Catch you later. Bye.